Anthony Carboni back up here on the main stage with you for the PlayStation E3 2016 livecast. I got Vince Zampella with me from Respawn. We're talking about Titanfall 2, man. I have been waiting for Titanfall 2.
I'm glad to hear that.
I am excited about Titanfall 2. Obviously, one of the biggest things, this is the first time Titanfall is going to be on PlayStation.
It is.
Very exciting for the PlayStation community, but also, this is Titanfall's got a single-player campaign now.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We're trying not to say much, because single player is all about the story, and you don't want to give too much of it away.
No, you want to sit right here and tell all the details right into that camera.
All the details.
Yeah, all the plot points from beginning to end.
So it's about exploring that unique bond between the pilot and the Titan, and kind of giving a little more personality to that, and exploring the world, and there'll be some characters. Although I think, first of all, it's important to note that you don't have to have played the first game to jump into this game, even though it's a sequel. It's standalone. There will be some characters from the first one. It takes place in, after the world of the first one, but you can jump right in.
Great.
So don't be afraid if you haven't played the first one. So characters will come back. It's a great story. There's a lot of twists, a lot of new gameplay. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll squeal with joy.
It looked like the Titans have kind of like personalities now.
That's right. Well, in single player for sure.
Yeah.
If you saw BT in the trailer, I don't know, what trailer are we rolling here?
Looks like
this looks like multiplayer.
Okay.
So there's a single player trailer available, and you'll see BT, the Titan in that, has a lot more personality that you'll see.
Awesome.
That doesn't carry straight over into multiplayer, but we've definitely changed the way Titans work in multiplayer. So now they're a little more bespoke. So when you go into a fight, it's more about identifying what the threat is. Like, kind of like a Street Fighter fight, where, the two that we're showing, here at E3 are Ion and Scorch. You'll know going in, like, oh, there's Scorch. He's very distinct. I know he's got flame abilities. Here's what he does. I know how to go up against him. I can adjust my play style. So the fights are a little more thoughtful,
Gotcha.
So
I'm loving that grappling hook too.
The grappling hook is fantastic.
I like any game with a grappling hook.
The grappling hook is one of the abilities, so you'll have to choose whether you want that, or if you notice the pulse blade in one of the other ones where you throw it on the ground and it shows where the enemies are coming in, and that helps your whole team. So you have to choose, though, which
So it
abilities
sounds like,
you want.
Titanfall always had a lot of customizability, but it sounds like you guys have really ratcheted that up.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we learned from the last game was, people loved it. And for the first couple months, people ate it up, and then they said, we want more.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of, what do we learn from that? More sometimes is actually more, sometimes it's just things being delivered in a different way so that people understand them better and kind of, eat them up in a different way.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of took the multiplayer, and we had 12 million players, so huge success for us. But it's looking at that and saying, how can we get more people in? We want, spend years of your life on something, you want as many people as possible to enjoy it. So this was deconstructing that multiplayer, looking at the things that really worked, and then looking at what can we change, what can we iterate on, what can we make even better, polish a little more. So it was putting all that back together in an even better kind of, it's still fast-paced, it's still got that movement. I mean, that's the core of what Titanfall is, that fast, fluid movement. But it's how can we make that more digestible for everyone.
And I mean, that was one of my favorite things about the first one, is just that feeling of motion, that feeling of free running, just like how mobile I really was when I was outside. Because when you're talking about a game where everybody's fighting with giant robots, to make fighting as a human as compelling as it was, and to make you feel like, oh, I really have a chance at taking all these things down, was just so brilliant. Can you tell us a little bit more? I mean, obviously we saw the grappling hook, we saw the other upgrade you were talking about. Can you tell us what else has changed in terms of loadouts and abilities and things like that?
The big one that we're talking about now is the Titans and how they're each unique. There's 6 new Titans. They replaced the original ones. There's a big change in the whole unlock and loadout system for the pilots as well, but we're not really unveiling all that yet.
Sure.
But, same thing. It's like we're trying to make everything much more thoughtful.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of customization, which you can see there. Some of the different camos and nose art and things for Titans to really make them identifiable. In a first-person game, sometimes that stuff doesn't come through, but it does really well on a Titan. As you call it in, and it's got your piece of nose art and your camo on it. It's great to see.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of my favorite things. It really has this sort of like World War II customizing your plane sort of vibe to it, and everybody knows when your Titan is coming, you know?
Yeah, there's Ion doing the chest laser.
That's awesome.
That's one of the new abilities. That was Scorch there. There's the pulse blade. There's the grapple hook.
So when you...
And if you notice in the grapple hook, it's not a straight shoot and pull.
No, I saw you can swing.
You can swing, you can control it a bit, and you can grapple anywhere. You can grapple onto enemies, you can grapple onto enemy Titans, you can grapple onto buildings, the ground. It's, you know, Titanfall is about that movement, so we couldn't restrict it.
I can just imagine using the swinging and the pulling and your jump jets and all that stuff together.
Oh, it's great. When you see somebody who's good at this, where they can go from a slide up into a wall run, double jump across to another wall run, grapple hook around, grab to another, it's amazing. Watching some of the people in our office that are good at it.
And just looking at those environments too, I mean, one of the things that was great about the first one as well is all the different little nooks and crannies, right? Yeah. Like you guys are great at designing the sort of the macro, like the big scale stuff, right? So when you're fighting on Titans, you're running on roofs, things like that. But you know, every little building has those nooks and crannies too that I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's important because there is kind of two levels of gameplay going on. So you have to play for where Titans can go and survive and have great fights, and where pilots can kind of thrive and kind of weave around the battlefield. So I think the designers have gotten really good at it. You know, making the first game and designing things and seeing what works and what doesn't, and having it out there for millions of people to play and seeing what people react to. You know, it makes it easier to kind of come back and say, okay, now these guys gotten really good at making maps.
Sure, and I mean, even during the first one, you guys were very nimble about updates and tweaks and things like that as well. And so I can only imagine that you've learned that much more. Have you? Are you talking at all yet about anything in the way of new modes for multiplayer, or?
The mode we're showing here at E3 is called Bounty Hunt. It's kind of an evolution of attrition.
Okay.
It's got a little more to it. It's a mode that has AI, like the previous Titanfall did. We are also going to have modes without AI, because I know we've had a lot of people kind of calling for that. We're also going to have some modes that are pilots only.
Oh, nice.
Which will be interesting to see.
Very interesting,
yeah.
So it looks like you guys are really changing it up and adding to it in a lot of ways. That's great. So when am I playing Titanfall 2, Vince?
October 28th.
October 28th.
And I think that was important. Our collector's edition is a wearable helmet. So we had to get it out before Halloween, because I want to see as many pilots as possible on Halloween.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pick that one up. Vince, thank you so much for coming by.
PlayStation